President Trump has revived a fight over health care he will not likely win. Democrats know it.
The president wants to go back to repeal and replace again. Make our day.
And Trump's fellow Republicans know it.
I'm very disappointed and vehemently opposed to the administration seeking to invalidate the entire Affordable Care Act.
Republican plans to kill the Affordable Care Act have failed over and over again for three reasons. One, they never had the votes to do it, even when they controlled the White House and both chambers of Congress. Two, opinion has shifted. The Affordable Care Act is now more popular than ever. And three, they've struggled to come up with a better alternative for years.
Now, I have to tell you, it's an unbelievably complex subject. Nobody knew that health care could be so complicated.
Yes, it's complicated, but the concept behind the Affordable Care Act is fairly simple. Patients get more protections. For example, parents can keep their kids on their plans until their kids turn 26, and you cannot be denied for having a pre-existing condition. And they fund those extra protections by making more people buy into the health insurance pools. The law mandates that people buy coverage if they can afford to do it, to help again pay for these extra protections. That's the concept, but here's where it gets complicated and politically treacherous. Obama and the Democrats did not come up with that mandate to buy coverage. In fact, Obama ran against it.
If a mandate was the solution, we could try that to solve homelessness by mandating everybody buy a house.
The concept of a mandate to buy insurance was developed and promoted by Republicans.
Everybody should have insurance. They should pay.
Mitt Romney implemented this concept in Massachusetts and promoted it as a Republican model for the rest of the nation.
Massachusetts is a model for getting everybody insured.
So when Obama's vision of universal health care failed, he latched onto Romney's concept. And then it turned into a Freaky Friday kind of situation in which they appeared to swap sides, creating some of the confusion and irony we see today.
I will act to repeal Obamacare.
Oh, no, I like mandates.
I don't have such a mandate.
Massachusetts is a model for getting everybody insured.
Then later, when Donald Trump ran for president, he promised something very different and very un-Republican. Trump promised health care for all, paid for by the government.
Everybody's got to be covered. This is an un-Republican thing for me to say.
Universal health care.
I am going to take care of everybody.
Who pays for it?
The government's going to pay for it.
Then when Trump took office, he put forth no such plan. He deferred to then Speaker Paul Ryan and embraced Ryan's House plan to repeal and replace, and he adopted and sold it as his own.
But very importantly, it's a great plan. And this is a real plan. But we're just going to talk a little bit about the plan, how good it is.
But that plan did not cover everyone as he had promised on the campaign trail. Instead, the CBO projected more than 20 million people would lose the coverage they have. It would also have cut hundreds of billions of dollars from Medicaid. And critics feared it could also drive up costs for people with pre-existing conditions to the point many could not afford it. And as it tanked in the polls, Trump called the plan he had just adopted and sold mean.
I actually used my term, mean. That was my term.
And then a variation of that plan later collapsed in the Senate. Then voters placed a higher priority on keeping the Affordable Care Act as it is. According to exit polling, that was the #1 reason why Republicans lost the House in 2018. And Republicans who squeaked through ran on the promise of keeping those popular protections in place.
I support forcing insurance companies to cover pre-existing conditions.
But now the Trump administration is backing a court battle to kill the Affordable Care Act with no alternative in place. Multiple sources told Fox News that Health Secretary Azar and Attorney General Barr disagreed about that. And Axios first reported House Minority Leader McCarthy said this is something that makes no sense, especially after Republicans got hammered in the midterms.
We're going to be the party of great health care.
Unless there's a sharp crisis with the economy or national security, this is where the next election will be won or lost. On one hand, Trump has certainly shown he can win when the odds are stacked against him. On the other hand, voters have shown they do not want to lose what he is now fighting to take away.